Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the newly rechristened Overwatch show, Let's Break It Down. I'm Nathan Grayson, your host, and today I am joined by Cecilia D'Anastasio and Heather Alexandra.
Hey, Nathan.
Hi.
And today we are discussing some new things in the world of Overwatch, mainly Sombra, who is just put into the game. I think that we all have opinions and feelings about Sombra being in the game.
Finally.
Right?
Ugh.
No, I was actually hoping the ARG was going to go on for another, couple more months. Maybe a year, just to make it a nice round number.
Yeah, why does everyone pronounce it ARG and not ARG?
I think that's what Sombra taught us to do.
I think so too.
But anyway, I want to start with a question. Because I feel like Sombra is, especially compared to even other characters in Overwatch, many of whom can do a lot of different things. Sombra is really, really versatile. So my question to both of you is, so far at least, how have you played her? What do you do when you play Sombra?
So I think I probably have played Sombra more. I really like the fact that she can do a lot behind enemy lines. I think her machine pistol, like her normal gun, is like really good and makes me think of Tracer's gun, but I like the fact that you can kind of cloak, go behind the lines, you can hack med packs, which is probably maybe a little too strong right now, but I really like it. And then also you can get into a good position to like hack an enemy Mercy or hack an enemy Reinhardt to really make sure that they can't use their abilities. I like that feel because for me anyway, it feels a lot more clear than with any other character that you're contributing to like the push or like the offensive without necessarily having to like get a bunch of kills or anything like that. Like you feel very valuable even if you're just running around hacking or just confusing people or using your EMP when you have it to knock everyone out. Like it feels really great.
Yeah, I feel like Sombra's main role is to cause panic in the enemy team, which is actually quite valuable. Like Heather's saying, like I don't think she's going to get too many kills, but, she can get in there and mess up your back line like Tracer does and, like, toss one of her translocators back where her team is and then just sort of, like, shoot her machine pistol, make everyone a little angry, and then just teleport back and just boop them really hard. GTFO.
Boop.
Yeah, no, I think she really, for one, I think she really needs a boop emote. I'm glad that I'm pretty sure they're working on that because I think she's literally unplayable until then. But no, I do. I agree with your assessment of her. What I actually really like her as, or find her really interesting as, is like kind of a harasser character who can harass other harassers. Like she can mess up Tracer so badly. Mm-hmm. The second she hacks Tracer, Tracer goes from being one of the most like powerful damage dealers to being helpless. And that's game changing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Also Tracer like annoys the crap out of me. So I'm very excited to be like, and now you can't go back in time. Now you can't warp away from me. You got nothing. And yeah, I think the way they balance that though is that, Sombra's machine guns aren't quite as powerful as what Tracer's packing. So there's still definitely some leeway there for Tracer to counter back.
So what I'm really excited about with Sombra is that there are some picks who are just totally essential on several maps and in several modes. Reinhardt and Zarya, most obviously. And Sombra can just totally render them completely impotent with Reinhardt's shield and Zarya's particle barrier. Is that the technical term?
Probably.
Yeah, so those are essential picks, especially for a lot of pros. And I was really excited about Sombra being able to just hack those things so the team can kind of push forward for brief moments. And also, Zarya's particle barrier was nerfed today, I read in the patch notes.
Oh.
I know, I'm very happy as a Roadhog main.
Very nice.
Yeah, as a Roadhog main, and it sounds like a dedicated Zarya hater. You're just like, everything that's happened to her today is great.
Ha!
Well, no, and okay, so to get really, really hoity-toity pretentious for a second, I actually also really like that about the relationship between Sombra and Zarya, because clearly there's like a plot-related thing between them, like with them being kind of rivals, or at least on opposite sides, or what have you. And also there's a really interesting gameplay dynamic between them where their abilities are opposing. And that's good. I like when Blizzard does stuff like that.
Listen, I'm not saying that that's like the start of you writing your own Zarya and Sombra fic, but it sounds like you got a really good foundation there, and it seems like it's probably close to being canon, Nathan.
Heather, tell us the plot of this fic.
Oh no, see, mine is different. Mine is Tracer and Sombra, and you know, she gets hacked and then she tumbles into Sombra, and it's really, really cute.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you've actually put thought into this.
Yes, I have.
I'm blushing.
All right, so wait for that'll be on Kotaku.com very soon. That
Yes.
entire fanfic.
No, so what do you think? So in the Sombra animated short, which was, by the way, just so phenomenal. I really liked it. I think it's my favorite one. At the very end, Zarya is called in to one of the Russian officials' offices to, I guess, take Sombra out or investigate her operation with Reaper and with Widowmaker. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems that way.
Yeah. So where could that be leading?
I don't know. Overwatch lore is like really weird in the sense that it seems really heavy, but it's probably just going to lead to another short that looks like it will lead to another thing. So they'll try and make it all mysterious, but it'll probably, who knows, guys, jumping back to it again, maybe she is going to take Zarya out to a lovely dinner.
Oh my god.
It's very possible.
Oh gosh. I can't stop.
Keep going.
Anyway, the next kind of a gameplay related question. Who have you found yourself having trouble against while playing her?
All right. So the biggest counter that people have already sort of figured out because of everything on the PTR is Junkrat. Ignoring the fact that Junkrat can just put a trap where you're going to teleport back to, if you're in stealth, I've found that like when I'm in stealth, I'm probably a little less cautious than I should be because I feel really confident because nobody can see me, but Junkrat's projectiles just have all this splash damage. They can knock you out of stealth, which is really a pain in the ass. Also, anybody who can do like kind of damage over time, it's surprising. Like Widowmaker is actually an interesting way to counter Sombra if you're able to trip, you know, if you're able to get that sort of gas mine off, because as long as you're taking damage as Sombra, you can't go back into your cloak, and that's one of your main skills that you really want to use.
I have the same answer, definitely Junkrat, because of all the splash damage.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who else I've witnessed doing that level of damage. One of the things that I have seen a few clips of on Reddit is someone as Roadhog just nailing that clutch hook into an invisible Sombra.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a necessarily viable counter so much as
Not
it
really.
just sounds great. Like if you manage to do it, you're just like, okay, I'm done for the day. Nothing's going to top that.
No, nothing.
But yeah, no, I mean the Junkrat thing was something that I noticed even like when I first played her at BlizzCon, and most people were being Sombra. Like one person switched to Junkrat, and yeah, it was just like suddenly extremely impotent, and I kept running into traps and being like, oh, I feel like such an idiot. So one of my favorite things about her, one of my favorite things that I think leads to a lot of experimentation, and that's the way that I like to play the game, is just kind of, you know, thinking, what weird thing can I do with this character that maybe won't necessarily make my teammates super happy, but it'll be fun. The Translocator, there's so many different weird things you can do with it. And so I was wondering what the two of you have done with it. How do you primarily use it? Do you combo it with stealth? Do you use it more as an escape thing than an entrance thing? What do you do?
I definitely use it as more of an escape thing because I have the tendency to push a little bit too far forward because I play a lot of tanks. So when I'm playing Sombra, I'm not used to being as squishy as she is, and thank God she's that squishy, otherwise she'd be OP. But yeah, if I push a little bit too far, then I'll just teleport back to where my team is.
I enjoy the fact that it can be used to get height. I love the fact that, like, if somebody's up on a catwalk, you can throw that up there. Maybe cloak, maybe not, but you can just kind of get up to their height if you time it right. Sometimes not even if you time it right. The throw on that goes pretty far. I just like being able to go to places that you don't expect somebody to show up right away. Usually if you're up top or anything, you see a Pharah, oh, you're like, oh crap, I want to be away from here. But you're not necessarily expecting somebody to just leap up there and shoot you with like a normal machine gun. it's like one of my favorite things to do with her.
Do you think that it'll differ too much from how people currently use Reaper's teleport move?
I think the thing about Reaper's teleport is that it takes time, right? Like, I think it is about getting Reaper in position for his ult. I think that tends to be the best way to use it. I think with Zarya, or excuse me, I was thinking about before. I think with Sombra, there's a lot more versatility. I think it's a lot more like something you can use in the moment because it's pretty instant, right? You don't have to kind of set yourself up for it. So I think people are going to use it in ways that are less predictable at the very least than Reaper. With Reaper, you can kind of say like, okay, my team's here. There's maybe this open point up here. Let's be careful. With Sombra, she could be jumping all around and you don't really have a good sense of where she might be.
Yeah. Going back to the idea of using it very quickly, I think one of my favorite things to do with it is essentially to use it to be like a really janky hacked together tracer, which seems counterproductive. But when you pull off these things that are automatic for another character, it's weirdly satisfying. You're like, oh man, I managed to reverse engineer that with completely different abilities. But yeah, so getting out really quickly from bad situations. And my favorite, throwing the translocator into the air right above you when you're like being swarmed by people, and then immediately teleporting to it and turning invisible. Because the cumulative effect of that is that people don't know where you are, and they can't necessarily spray around on the ground to find you because they don't really know where you turned invisible. So it's like you disappeared. You didn't, but it's a lot like it.
I wouldn't have thought about that, actually. That's actually pretty smart. You have to get out of there quick, though, because if you're too close to people, they can still see you. I mean, people are going to run around and think that they're super invincible because they're invisible. But no, like, if you're not careful, people will, like, Mei will just shoot an icicle right into your skull.
Yeah. And then my other favorite is on Hanamura, I really like to just go, when you're taking the second point, I like to put the translocator right next to that health pack off to the far right side, where people like can come in from the outside and like land on the little deck area and stuff. And yeah, I'll just put that there, and then I'll run in, do some damage, and then immediately warp right to the health pack, put another translocator there, and keep doing that to like have this constant stream of health anytime things get dicey.
Yeah, until someone camps you and figures out your trick.
Right, but then I can just like double trick them. If I know they're going to be there, then I can warp in at like full strength and just ruin their day.
You know
psychological.
That I know that I'll be there, but will I be there unless you know that I know that you know that you think that I'm going over there?
Further, this is a game ultimately of area denial, and so every single second that you waste of somebody else's is precious. And so if you trick them into just sitting there and camping, they're just wasting their time.
Yeah. Nothing could be truer. I want to pivot. Can I pivot?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, go for it.
Can we talk about the new arcade mode?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, of course.
Let's.
Oh, my God. Okay, I think the new arcade mode is a total game changer. I think it is the best thing to have happen to Overwatch since its release. It is...
Wow.
No, that's not even an understatement. I think it is so freaking fun. There are no words. Well... The second best thing to have happen to Overwatch next to quick play, getting a single hero limit.
Yes, definitely.
Completely. Have you guys had a chance to try out the arcade mode yet?
Yeah, I mean, I like... the thing that I am surprised that I like as much as I do is hero duels. Like, I thought, like, oh, I don't know about this. Like, I'm not really good at using all these heroes. But it turns out that it's, like, really fun. And the map's just big enough that you can kind of switch it up, but, like... I don't know, like, I feel really nice about just facing someone down and just kind of testing my skills. And it's also challenged me to sort of learn new characters as well.
Yeah. Is there anyone that you were, like, forced to try that you really liked and hadn't tried before?
I mean, I still have trouble with Pharah. And I know Nathan's going to not appreciate that at all. But it just never really clicked for me. I was never, like, really good at playing Soldier in Team Fortress 2 or anything. Just something about rockets just doesn't work. But I'm learning a little bit more now that I am using her in those other modes.
There's, like, no better way to quickly learn how to play a hero than, first of all, being forced to face off against one-on-one in a duel.
Yes.
And then second, being forced to think so quickly because you don't have a team backing you up. And, like, how would a professional competitive Pharah player interact with the situation right now if there's no tank, no heals, or anything like that. You just have to make so many calculations so quickly. I think it's great.
Though that does make me worry a little bit because that's like really high level solo play, but ultimately Overwatch is a game about team dynamics, and if people are mostly learning how to be good solo players, then
I think it'll balance out in the end. I think you'll have the people who will focus on quick play or doing the ranked seasons, but going into the arcade, you can just do like no limits again, or you can do like if you want to work it in a team setting where you might have to learn dynamics, there is random hero still. They carried over that brawl and made it like its own dedicated game mode. I mean, you're not going to get necessarily the best team comps in that mode, but you'll get to learn how different interacting parts sort of work together with each other.
Yeah, and then there's the elimination mode too, where you have to keep basically the entire team alive as long as possible, because if one of you dies, you're dead for good, and then the rest of your team is going to follow pretty shortly after suit.
You die in the real world. You're dead for good.
Oh my god, this is not Sword Art Online.
Yeah. The last person standing then dies at the end.
Yes.
Very upsetting. And on that note, I think that's where we're going to end for today.
Is it?
So
you don't want to talk about anime?
Next time. Definitely, we'll get around to it. But yeah, so this has been Let's Break It Down. And remember, if you die in the game, you die in real life.
Thank you guys.
Bye.